Well, a couple little things to report here this morning. Um, I listened to that Clif High thing about the monkeys or whatever from a couple days ago, and some of his data coming in and such. And he had mentioned something about like it seems like there's gonna be some immediacy data things happening, like which means soon, very soon. Immediacy data typically means it should be happening soon, and it's something to do with like something with the vaccinated versus the unvaccinated, and he's like, I can't really pinpoint exactly what this is, but it's like he goes, just for example, maybe there's something happening with the workers in one of those two categories, if you know what I mean, the vaccinated or unvaccinated, and the companies and bosses are going, we're starting to have some issues with this particular group of people and are making plans to deal with either letting them go or changing things at their company because these people are no longer productive as they used to be, or they can't remember things, or whatever. He's like, just for example, like it could be that. Doesn't say for sure. And that officialdom and along with some of the corporate structure is going to be is like actively making plans behind the scenes now to deal with this. And as he's talking, my mind, speaking of monkeys, monkey mind is saying, what if the officialdom government and yeah, certain companies, like hospitals, doctors, healthcare, maybe that whole thing balled up into one, might be making plans for, oh my gosh, the whistleblower is about to happen. When the population hears what this guy has to say or person has to say, I'm just giving you a way out there example. I have no idea if this is true. Whistleblower is going to come out. When the people find out what we did, they're going to want our effing head on a stake. So we're going to prepare now to kind of go in hiding or kind of go away or deal with these people because they're going to want to deal with us in a not so pleasant way. That's kind of where my monkey mind was going. Well, what? Tell mommy real quick. I'm doing a video. Daddy, what? The neighbor girl just right now just hit my face. Like really hit my face. That's bad. You should say sorry to her. Doesn't sound like she hit him too hard if you're just talking like that or whatever. I'm not sure what happened, but Evelyn's out there. Um. Anyway, so that's one thing. It's going to get very interesting. It already is. Look at what's happening freaking Europe right now. The riots. Oh, it's the right wing rioters. Forget the Muslims with the knives and the freaking swords and machetes and everything else. Oh no, that's okay. That place is blowing up. I mean, it's like a tinderbox over there. But it's stuff, and it's stuff like this. Well, let me just finish the news part of this, if you will. Got a little foo foo on the lip from blowing my nose a little ago. Little baby foo foo, I love you. Yes, they do. They love that upper lip, son. Okay. So then what would we do? 40,000 Dow. We have to hit that number before we see a big reversal in the stock market. We've recently hit 40,000. And we wake up today, Monday, the 5th of August, to a very rapidly 5% down. And it did recover a little bit and then start heading back the other way. Let's take a little look. Yeah, it went down about 5%. It's only down 2.5%, so half of that right now. Of course, all the news. Stock market today. Dow drops over 900 points as global equity rout continues. Oh, yeah, okay, whatever. Wake me up when it's like 30%, like a daily crypto drop. You might have seen once or twice, or a dozen times. But nonetheless, Trump's out there. I told you if that guy got office, we'd have a stock market crash. Okay. And then Tory posted this, I think it was this morning, either late last night or this morning. I'm not sure. But let me shut this laptop off. She goes, oh, August 8th is US dollar day. Did you know that? Just out of nowhere, she says that, like, US dollar day. So I look it up. It is 1778, the founding. US dollar day is 3 days away. And today we start off with a real rocky stock market opening. Okay. And again, Woo Woo Dude had said, Spirit had told him 40K is the number. Okay. When it finally hits that, that's when things might start getting a little rocky. And I mean, it did hit 40K. And if we look at the chart 1 month ago, going back to July 17th, that's when it finally hit 40K. Well, a day or two before, then it hit the high of 41 on July 17th. So again, today's the 5th, not quite a month ago. And then if you look from July 31st, which again, about 6 days ago, it's down. It started there and it went down. Now it was 40,800, down to where we are today and continuing. So, pretty interesting call by Woo Woo Dude to say that Spirit told him that, you know what I mean? And then now Tori's saying, dollar day, US dollar day on the 8th, by the way. Remember my dream about the banks, the 3 balloons in the bank. Can't get your money out. There ain't no money here. We ain't got no money. But I see some money floating in balloons in the bank lobby while I'm back in the private safe deposit box area stealing, in the dream, stealing people's goodies from their boxes because I had no way of getting money. And like, brothers got to do what a brother's got to do, apparently in my dream. And I noticed the most of what was coming out of these safety deposit boxes, all of them. And it was like 3, 4, 5 of them that I opened. And they all had some type of gold or silver, whether it was jewelry, chunks of gold, like little things, coins, just whatever. Like that was kind of the underlying theme of what exactly is in these boxes, these safe deposit boxes. And then all of a sudden the guy comes out, hey, does anybody need any money from the bank? I'm like, oh, me? Yeah, I do. How much do you need? I go, can I get like 10 grand out? And he was like, no, I can give you, most I can give you is $50. $50, that's all? Yeah, that's it. I go, just keep it. I don't want it. But again, these balloons that are holding a bunch, big wads of cash in all 3 of them, all of a sudden, pop, 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 they pop really fast. And I'm waiting to see the money come out and hit the ground. But it was an illusion. There was no money. The money disappeared and popped with the balloon. It was gone. So again, it's like an illusion. That's the whole point. Well, you can see the money inside, behind the facade, the balloon. It's there. You can see it. But then when the balloon popped, okay, show me the money. It's gone. There was no money. So that's probably coming. I saw it in the dream. I stand by what I get in my dreams. That's it. Maybe not be 100% of what I get, but I see what I see and I get what I get. I told you about Biden is just falling over in the corner of the screen. I had a dream about that. He couldn't even get up, and I'm like, he just barely fell. He like just kind of leaned into the screen a little bit. He couldn't even get off of that. I was like, Jesus Christ, man, what's wrong? And I said, man, these were all presidential contenders, current ones at the time. Nikki Haley, Trump, him. And I go, he's just looks terrible. Like his health. He's not going to make it. He's not going to be around come November. That's what I said in that video. I'm sure it's still online. Whether it was Rumble, YouTube, both, it's there. I'm sure of it. I didn't delete it. And look at what's happening. And now they're saying, again, there's rumors. This damn guy had a stroke back in 2021 or 2 or something, and we weren't told about it. Like it's kind of important to know if our leader, and supposedly a whistleblower is going to be, who knows? We'll see. But doesn't matter, right? That's what they'll say. Well, it doesn't matter. He's not running again. He's on his way out. Don't worry about it. Kamala's taking over. Is she black or is she Indian? What is she black or is she Indian? You got old family photos of her. She's Indian. You see the mom with the dot and all that. Yeah, she's Indian. But today she's black. Going into Atlanta, she's black today. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You see the size. Again, I was covering Hillary Clinton versus Donald Trump 2016. I'm like, I even showed up at one of the events in Tampa to show you. And I go, this is probably the biggest event she's ever had as far as people coming. And there was a small amount of people allowed into the actual area she was doing the event. It was right downtown Tampa. outside. Not a big area, but I know exactly where it is. There's a children's museum right over there. And then there was a line of people trying to get in. So I said, well, I'm just going to count see certain people. Go, okay, I see that person right there. Remember them. Count all the people there, or start up at the line and count backwards until I get to that person and realize, okay, that's that person, then continue on my way back out. And I think I said, maybe I counted 1,000. I'm going back in memory. And I go, you know what? Let me just pretend, because of the size of the area, let's just say there was 3,000 to 4,000 people there. In giant ass Tampa, you couldn't have rented a stadium. Or did you already know hardly anybody's going to show up? So I was reporting on this. However, she did other ones too, including I think one in St. Pete, in a little tiny school gymnasium. They're so low on numbers now that they're hosting things not even in a school gymnasium now. Little rooms and buildings. Like, and again, rumor has it that they're paying certain social media influencers, big shots, $20,000 to show up at her upcoming event. Talk about desperate. Trump doesn't have to pay anybody anything. The people show up by the boatloads. I went to a Trump rally in Orlando, a friend of mine, David, and there was a lot of people there. It was not fully sold out, I will say, but it was at a stadium, and there was a crap ton of people inside and even outside, even though there was some seating inside available still. A lot of people outside and a bunch of people inside. And again, that was back then. Now you see wherever he goes, there are people freaking everywhere. Even if he goes into a small little town or whatever, and the venue's outside somewhere, whatever, there is a huge number of people showing up. So back to what I was gonna say before I said, let me just finish what all the points I want to talk about today. You get nervous, you hear about all this stuff. Woo dude said this, the webbot said that. We're always trying to tell you, look, relax, don't let this get to you. Prepare now, have a food storage in case there's riots and stuff at your grocery store. You want to be outside. Perfect example, again, over in Europe right now. They're rioting, they're fighting, the migrants against the people, it's out of control. Do you want to go shopping right now? In the middle of that, where they're attacking you, the white person? Basically, any race that's not theirs, apparently. So, whatever. Or beliefs, anyways. So, there's that. But at the same time, you can say, it didn't affect me at all where I'm at. I saw it online or on the news or whatever. I saw it, but my grocery store is fine. I went there today, as a matter of fact. I was there yesterday. I went to eat breakfast at a restaurant. I mean, I didn't see nothing. So while all this stuff is happening in places that we've warned about, and yes, it's going to get worse, isn't it interesting that all this stuff can happen, but at the same time, it wasn't where I was? Huh, strange. Now, again, we got some things coming in America, especially these big Democrat cities. You're going to see probably some of the stuff happening there. But it starts with, the EBT cards and the money and all this. There's going to be some issues. It's coming. And I told you guys a while back, man, I bought this generator. I had to go down to Miami. This thing was probably $50,000 brand new. I got it for a steal. I went and picked it up. It was a 2007 model, 38 hours on the engine. Come on. Went and got it. Had a dream about it needing a temperature sensor because it would shut off after about 2 minutes, and then there was some error. I went and got this. I've got the sensor, wired it in, spliced it, boom, 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 fixed that problem. I was like, damn, I got a dream on that. Son of a bitch. So I fixed it. And I've used it a few little times here and there, not for too long, but there's been times we used it a little bit. And then the other day, we had a power outage. Not even today or yesterday with the storm going by the way, so it's pretty much out of here. Just dropped a bunch of rain. But the other day, we had a power outage for hours. And I go, well, let me turn it on. So I fired the old girl up. The whole property's running off of the Jenny. Okay, and it's like 11 o'clock at night. And go to bed. And all of a sudden, because we have a fan running in the room and everything, and then all of a sudden I hear it, like it shuts off. I go, oh, shoot. Woke up because of the noise. I go, what? Oh, man, the Jenny died? Like, I know I got plenty of fuel. Oh, shoot, what's going on? So I go down there. I see an error, no AC output or no AC detected. It's a Kohler diesel generator. No AC output detected. So I try to fire it back up, flip up some breakers. Nope, ain't happening. Will shut itself down upon that error. So it shuts itself down. I go, damn. At that moment, power comes back on. Well, son of a gun, perfect timing. Flip the regular breakers back on. We're good. Power's back up. But now I got a problem to deal with. So get a company to come out and look at it. The stator's it's shorted, this and that. He goes, you need to really replace all the stuff in there. The stator and the what's the other thing? I can't think of the name of it. Anyways, yes, we'll get you a quote. So I talked to the lady. Yeah, I'm working. She goes, I'm waiting on one part. It's really expensive for these parts. She's like, there's one other company I'm gonna try to call to see what their price is. And she goes, yeah, I'll be honest with you. She goes, I'll give you a quote next week, meaning this week. Today's Monday. I think it'd be cheaper to install a brand new generator at your house than it's going to be to fix this one. And I'm like, I got that diesel for one main reason. Out of diesel, gas, and propane and or natural gas, in other words, diesel, gasoline, or natural or propane gas, diesel is the best, most efficient burning of fuel. So for every gallon you have, you get the best efficiency out of that sucker, out of your generator. Second best was gasoline. Terribly worse was natural gas and propane. It uses quite a bit more fuel to run the same amount of time as, say, a diesel. So that's the whole point of me doing that. But after having this thing for a few years, using it a few times here and there, no big deal. Realizing, though, you do have to replace that fuel at some point, which I do have a truck, and I could just put that in my truck, which I've actually done recently because I have an extra accessory tank I bought on a trailer that I have. It's a 250-gallon tank, so I've ended up taking it out of there and filling my truck up now to use it all. I'm realizing, even though it is expensive, and they got to dig a giant hole in your yard to put a 500 or 1,000-gallon tank, whatever you pick, in your yard, and pay for that and all that, plus the cost of a generator, which is $4 to $5, $6 grand for one of those. And by the way, I'm looking at a Cummins whole house generator, and it is a propane one because it's made in America, manufactured in America. I go, yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. But anyways, long story short is that I'm probably going to take her up on her offer. Yep, get this turd out of here. And I was at the auction not too long ago. A friend of mine needed a forklift, and I go, man, I can probably get one cheap enough down here to buy it and ship it to you than just go and get a used one. So sure enough, got a forklift. It worked. But while I was there, I see a military-style diesel generator, 15 kilowatt. And I go, oh, it's one of those MEP somethings, And I'm like, man, if I could, I could just put a bid in online. I don't even have to be here. I'll just put a bid online. If it's cheap enough, I'll just snag this thing. I got it cheap, like $2,500 cheap. And I go, damn. And it said runs/works. So I go, shit, this thing's great. So I get it home. I run it. It works. I test the output. It works. I'm like, man, I got a spare generator for that price. Like, I'm pretty happy about that. And so a month or so it went by, and I said, well, let me go out there and run it. It needed 2 new batteries because it runs off of 24 volts. So I got 2 batteries for it. They were dead when I got it, so I got that right away. And I go, let me run it. Let me run the diesel that's in here out of it because I'm not sure how old it is and such. But it looked good. The diesel actually looked really good, like it was fresh. And it's running for a few minutes, and then boom, it shuts off and smokes pretty interestingly as it shuts off. And I go, like out of the exhaust, I go, okay. Fire it back up. It starts to run, and it's not sounding real good, and it's smoking more than normal, like when you first crank it, and then it dies. And then that's it. It won't start again. I go, son of a bitch. Get some starting fluid out. Fires right up. Boom, and then dies, of course, because starting fluid. Man, I think I got a damn fuel problem. So someone online said, man, he goes, the picture you put online, he goes, looks like the original filters. He goes, I'd start by changing that, the one water separator and then the other one. Okay. So I ordered them. It took a while to find one of them. It was hard to get, but I got it. Other one, not too bad. I got it pretty quick. And so just recently I go, oh, I think now's the time to go try that old girl out. Put them on there. There's a little pump thing you got to press with your finger a bunch of times to kind of prime it. And I see the fuel coming. I break the lines loose. Yep, the fuel's coming out. Tighten them up. Okay. Crank it up. Not starting. So someone had said, make sure you the furthest line injector away from the pump, you crack it loose to help it bleed it, bleed the air out. And so I did that. And as I'm cranking this thing with that thing cracked open, no fuel's coming out at all. And I'm going, you know, uh, this thing should be firing up right now. It should be producing some. So it's probably got a bad diesel injector pump, fuel pump. But again, it's like this thing's an older one. Everybody that has parts for these things wants $1 million for everything because it's military government contractor back in the day. And I'm just like, you know what? Why am I doing this? Why am I creating a headache for myself right now? Get the whole house freaking thing. Get a giant 1,000-gallon tank and call it an effing day. Propane never goes bad. It'll sit in that tank forever until you need it. Now, of course, your generator is going to kick on every week, once a week for 10 minutes or something, just to keep the engine going or whatever, keep things lubed up and working. And obviously, you'll use a little bit. But I mean, what are you going to use a gallon of propane for 15 minutes? Number one, it's not even running the house, so it's not really going to have a load unless they install one of those little load things on them. Sometimes they do that just to have some kind of load put on it while it's running. But again, what's going to use a gallon or two every week? Out of 1,000 gallons, or 500, whatever, 2 500-gallon tanks or 1,000. I don't know. I've got the property to put it. Like I do have the space, but I'm going. Yeah, I think it's time. Get rid of these effing diesel generators. Maybe they'll give me some little trade in on them. Some value. There's gonna be some value, and just get these things out of my life. Get these effing things out of my life, and give me this brand new Cummins, made in America, whole house generator. And again, it's not a diesel Cummins. It is the brand Cummins, but it runs off of propane. And Cummins has a better rep than, say, Generac. A lot of complaints out there on Generac, and that's one of the bigger ones that gets installed. So I was doing a little research and thought, I think I'm going to try Cummins. So on that note, that's it, my friends, and take care.